Do you have any eligibility? It was a strange day, that 14th practice. We had no pads. We were out there just going through some drills, and Ben took off to his right to fake a handoff and then hand the ball off and then carry out a fake to his left, and I thought he had his foot stepped on. He just was kind of hopping around, and having played the position, I know what it feels like to have a 300-pound guy step on your foot, so I was kind of giggling at him. The very next play, Pat went back and shuffled up in the pocket and kind of moved over to his right and went down in a heap. Ben went back in the huddle and couldn't take 2 steps away from center in the very next play, so I have these 2 senior quarterbacks who we were counting on, both in heaps on the ground, being administered to by our training staff. And I remember moving the drill up about 15 yards, looking back going, what just happened? Because neither one was touched. But it just goes to show you what can happen in football. It's a precarious game. And the quarterback situation is as follows. Pat's out for the year. He unfortunately will not be able to compete as a senior. He still has not had surgery. He decided because he would miss the season with the torn ACL to be a regular college student, and went on a couple of trips this summer. He'll have surgery in August. Ben is just out of a boot. He had surgery to put a pin in his 5th metatarsal in his foot. The healing process is going as planned. He's going now to start doing all the stuff that you can do as you get out of the boot, and he'll start regular drop backing, I think, in the next week, and hopefully be at full speed early on in camp. So we've got high hopes for Ben to have a great senior year, and to fulfill all the promise that everybody had for him when he arrived at UCLA. Chris Forcier is a freshman that I think has some promise. And then we've got a couple of young kids. Osar Rasan, who had been moved to receiver, then moved back to quarterback to handle some of the injury problems that happened last year, also had to undergo a knee procedure in the off season, and we'll wait and see where he is when we get back to camp. All that being said, no excuses. We're going to play the quarterback position well. Norm Chow's got as good a resume as there is in college football in terms of playing that position well and having people rise to the occasion. And I don't think giving ourselves a free pass on why and what if and all that stuff is good for us. So we're going to play it well, and someone will rise to the occasion. I've said it before, every year in college football someone comes out of the woodwork to make a name for himself and take a team to a place where no one thought they could go, and hopefully that's in Westwood this year. They're that elephant in the living room. They have and they have earned it. They have done an unbelievable job. Pete is to be commended for what's taken place there in the last 6-7 years. It really is a remarkable transformation from maybe middle of the pack to all of a sudden not just leader of the pack, but leader in the country. And so you can't be the head football coach at UCLA and not find a way to compete successfully with USC. It's just part of the deal. And so, but the good news about that is when we catch them, and I say when we catch them, we're going to not only have caught the leader in the pack, but hopefully we'll be amongst those programs that can rightfully challenge for the big prizes. We can recruit at UCLA anybody. We can go get the finest in the land to come to UCLA. You look across the board at the other sports in intercollegiate athletics, and there are 103 national championship trophies down one floor below where I sit. So we can recruit. We've got to get the people to come and see. We've got to do a great job of evaluating, so we're spending our time on the right student athletes, and then we got to go out and do a great job of coaching them to be the kind of people and players that we want them to be, and we can rise to that occasion. And I think you just have to embrace that that's what you want to do. You're going to fight them on every corner. It's going to be exciting to take the field against them. It's going to be exciting to make that, as I told Pete when I called him when I first got the job, I hope one day that we're not just playing for first place in Los Angeles, we're playing for first place in the country. Our offensive line, as it sits today, maybe one guy is playing the position he played last year, that being Micah Key, our left tackle. Micah Reed has moved from guard to center and had a good spring, and I think will be a very, very solid player for us there. We've moved Darius Savage from defensive line to offensive line. He'll play our left guard, and he's an NFL body. Having just come from the NFL camps, he could walk into an NFL camp right now and no one look twice and say he didn't belong. He's a bona fide talent. Now, tackle, we had hoped that Sean Scheller would be our right tackle, but he was involved in an unfortunate ATV accident at the conclusion of class and is going to miss the season. Hopefully he'll be back and be able to play again. Pretty serious knee and ankle injury. But we think that Mike Harris will be ready. And we just moved Nate Chandler from tight end. His body although when he looked in the mirror, he wanted to say tight end. His body kept saying offensive line. And he's accepted that role and he's embraced that role.
We're all excited, actually. Everybody, thought, Coach Walker and then Neuheisel was just up in the air. But when Coach Neuheisel came in, it was great. He changed the program around, and the strengthening and conditioning has been the biggest part, I believe. With Coach Lynn and Coach Jordan and Coach Sowers, they did a great job. This offseason has been the animal for me this past 4 years. It's been the best offseason as for myself and as for this team. I'm really excited for this year, and I'm looking forward to a great season. My last season here, I'm done with school, so I can actually just focus on football, putting the time in, watching film, and just helping the younger guys out, and just come out strong every Saturday, and hopefully just help out this team and win games. We're all excited for the challenge. Me, Brian, Tom Blake, Corey Bosworth, as a unit, we play really well together, and we're looking forward to the season and carrying this team. And we know that defensive line is our strength of the team right now, and we're up for the challenge.